Son's funeral broke me. Months later, I was told it's possible. He could be alive. The doctors lied to me when they said my newborn son had no health issues. They just smiled and said Marcus had passed. My son's funeral broke me. Months later, I was told it's possible. He could be alive. The doctors lied to me when they said my newborn son had no health issues. They just smiled and said Marcus had passed all his tests with flying colors. He had 10 fingers and 10 toes and the strongest grip I'd ever felt. I wrapped him up and took him home feeling like my whole world had changed. But something felt wrong from the first day home. Marcus wouldn't take his bottle properly, and he seemed to struggle with every swallow. His tiny throat would work too hard, like he was fighting for every drop. When I called the hospital, they said it was normal new parent nerves and that babies sometimes need time to figure things out. I wanted to believe them so desperately. By the second week, Marcus had barely gained any weight. He slept almost constantly, which the pediatrician said was concerning. His skin had this yellowish tint that made my chest tight with dread. I took him back to the doctor, who examined him for what felt like hours. She frowned, but then reassured me that some babies just need extra time. The nights were torture. Marcus would wake up choking, and I'd pace the apartment for hours trying to help him breathe better. I bought special bottles and formula and tried every technique I could research. My sister flew in to help, but even she looked scared when she fed Marcus. We both pretended everything was normal, but I could see the panic in her face. By the end of the first month, Marcus could barely keep anything down. He'd vomit after every feeding and make these weak sounds that shattered me. The pediatrician finally ordered extensive tests, but said they were just ruling things out. I held Marcus while they ran scan after scan, and he didn't even have the strength to protest. That's when I knew we were in real trouble. The test results showed severe problems with Marcus's digestive system and liver. The specialist said it was a genetic condition that somehow got missed during screening. They started him on treatments and feeding tubes, but warned me the prognosis was grim. I took leave from work to care for him full time. Every day became about monitoring vitals and administering medications and begging for a miracle that never came. Marcus made it 2 months and 5 days. He died in my arms one Thursday evening while rain pounded the windows. He just stopped fighting, and no amount of intervention could save him. The nurses had to gently take him from my arms while I sobbed. My sister held me while I fell apart in the hospital corridor for hours. The funeral was a haze of sympathy cards and people not knowing what to say. 4 weeks after the funeral, I got a call that shattered my entire world. The hospital administrator asked me to come in immediately for a critical matter. When I arrived, there were detectives and lawyers, and a woman I'd never seen before. She was trembling while a man in custody sat staring at the floor. The administrator's voice cracked as she explained what had happened. The man was Dr. Nathan Rodriguez, who worked in the maternity ward at the hospital where Marcus was born. His girlfriend Lisa had given birth the same day as my surrogate to a baby boy with fatal genetic disorders. Dr. Rodriguez knew their baby would suffer and likely not survive. In a moment of desperation and cruelty, he switched the identification tags while doing his rounds. He gave me their dying baby and took my healthy son home. My real son Xavier was alive and thriving, and had been living with the Rodriguezes for 3 months. The administrator brought him in, and the moment I saw him, I knew he was mine. He had my father's forehead and my smile, and when he gripped my thumb, I felt